Hey guys, tonight we're exploring ancient technologies in this world that defy all explanation. We'll uncover detailed descriptions of flying machines, advanced weaponry, and incredible engineering feats that shouldn't have existed for thousands of years. These aren't just myths or legends. These are real, documented mysteries that archaeologists and historians still struggle to understand. How were they conceptualized? Who possessed such knowledge? And perhaps the most unsettling question of all, what else from our ancient past is still out there, waiting to be rediscovered? From the intricate designs of Vimanas described in the Hindu Vedas to other sophisticated contraptions mentioned in forgotten texts. So, before delving into some of the most profound technological enigmas of the ancient world, take a moment to like the video and subscribe if you enjoy our content, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from and what time it is. It's always a joy to see how many people from around the world are ready for this journey. Now, dim the lights, close your eyes, feel your body deeply relax, leaving the tiring day behind, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. Our journey begins not with modern innovation, but with wisdom from millennia past, in texts that speak of a scientific understanding far beyond what we attribute to ancient civilizations. But as impressive as our modern understanding has been built, it sits upon foundations far older, and far stranger. The real mystery lies in the very pages of these ancient scrolls. Within their verses, we find detailed schematics and operational principles for machines so advanced. Some speculate they were mere fiction, while others believe they represent a lost golden age of technology. The question is, how did they know, and what can these texts truly tell us? The quest to answer that question opens up a fascinating debate. Tonight, we'll gently unravel the descriptions, the possible functions, and the glaring problems that no simple explanation seems to solve. As the gentle currents of this night carry you deeper into tranquility, allow your mind to journey further beyond the familiar horizons of known history. Picture a time, thousands of years ago, when the world was a canvas of sprawling empires, mystical forests, and nascent civilizations, all unfolding beneath skies that seemed both vast and intimately connected to human existence. Imagine the quiet rhythm of life, lit by the soft glow of oil lamps and the shimmering starlight, far removed from the constant hum and digital glow of our modern world. We often envision these ancient eras as rudimentary, marked by simple tools, basic agricultural practices, and a nascent, almost superstitious understanding of the natural world. Our contemporary perspective, shaped by the dizzying pace of scientific discovery and rapid technological progress, sometimes inadvertently blinds us to the subtle complexities and profound intellectual depths that may have thrived long before our time. We tend to place our ancestors in a neat, linear progression of development, always moving forward from a simpler past. Yet, when we truly listen to the whispers of their surviving texts, when we carefully examine the delicate parchment of aged scrolls and the silent wisdom etched into enduring stone, a profound and captivating paradox begins to emerge. These venerable documents, some originating from the very dawn of recorded human civilization, speak not only of spiritual journeys, philosophical insights, and societal norms, but also of astounding technological marvels. They describe machines, intricate structures, and even sophisticated scientific principles that seem utterly out of place, defying the conventional understanding of their supposed time. This isn't about mere myths or folkloric embellishments concocted purely to entertain or explain the inexplicable. Instead, it's about detailed accounts that, when read with an open mind and a discerning eye, reveal a surprisingly advanced grasp of concepts we typically consider modern or even futuristic. Consider for a moment the vibrant tapestry of ancient Indian civilization, a land steeped in profound spirituality, rich intellectual tradition, and a deep reverence for knowledge passed down through generations. Here, within the hallowed pages of revered texts like the Hindu Vedas, the epic Mahabharata, and the poetic Ramayana, we find astonishing narratives that challenge our most fundamental assumptions about history and progress. These are not simply abstract prophecies or allegorical musings meant to inspire wonder through fiction. They are often startlingly precise descriptions of aerial vehicles soaring through the skies, devastating weapons with effects chillingly similar to modern armaments, and advanced knowledge of engineering and the cosmos that seems to defy the very timeline of human development as we understand it. How could cultures lacking what we perceive as fundamental scientific infrastructure, advanced metallurgy, or systematic engineering processes conceive of such complexities? What hidden wellspring of knowledge did they draw from, allowing them to envision and perhaps even create technologies that would only re-emerge in our world many millennia later? This is the central mystery we gently unfurl tonight, a quiet journey into the heart of what we call the impossible paradox. How did ancient scribes, wise sages, and ingenious engineers articulate concepts like controlled flight, or weapons of immense destructive power, or architectural feats such as cutting and moving stones weighing hundreds of tons with laser-like precision that even modern engineers, with all our advanced tools and computational power, struggle to explain? Were these purely fantastical visions of an extraordinarily imaginative people, perhaps inspired by fleeting dreams or the natural world? Or are they, instead, indelible echoes of a forgotten era golden age of unparalleled advancement whose remnants are scattered through our most ancient lore, waiting to be rediscovered by those willing to listen? To confront these descriptions is to feel a quiet shift in our own understanding, a humble recognition that perhaps our linear view of progress is incomplete. It invites us to consider that much of our past remains unwritten, untold, and profoundly misunderstood. The quiet contemplation of these profound questions is not meant to stir alarm or excite the senses, for this journey is one of peace and reflection. Rather, it is designed to awaken within you a sense of humble wonder, a deep appreciation for the vastness of history's true scope and the enduring mysteries that continue to envelop our past. Tonight, as we journey through these ancient descriptions, allow yourself to simply observe, to ponder, and to be gently amazed. Let the conventional boundaries of time and possibility softly blur, making space for a deeper understanding and appreciation of the secrets held within our collective human story. We will begin our exploration in earnest by slowly and thoughtfully turning our attention to one of the most remarkable and frequently cited examples of ancient impossible technology, the incredibly detailed accounts of mysterious flying machines known as Vimanas. As our contemplative journey guides us deeper into the tapestry of antiquity, we now gently land upon one of its most astonishing threads, the detailed and persistent accounts of flying machines, known primarily as Vimanas. Imagine, for a moment, the vast, open skies of ancient India, stretching endlessly above bustling cities and tranquil rivers, a realm traditionally reserved for birds and the celestial deities. Into this pristine expanse, the ancient texts tell us, soared magnificent contraptions that defy our every expectation of what was possible millennia ago. These aren't vague whispers of miracles or fanciful tales concocted purely for entertainment. Instead, they are often surprisingly precise descriptions of vehicles that traversed the heavens, echoing capabilities we only mastered in the very recent past. The concept of human-controlled flight, or even deity-controlled aerial travel, resonates throughout the sacred pages of ancient Indian literature. From the poetic verses of the Rig Veda, one of the oldest known texts, to the sprawling narratives of the epic Mahabharata and the enchanting Ramayana, the Vimanas emerge as a recurring motif, a testament to an imagination, or perhaps a knowledge, far beyond its supposed era. They are portrayed not as mythical creatures or abstract concepts, but as tangible conveyances, often described with such vividness that one might almost feel the rush of air from their passage or hear the subtle hum of their engines. In the early Rig Veda, dating back perhaps to 1500 BC or earlier, we find mentions of chariots, sometimes pulled by horses, but also described in ways that suggest a self-propelling nature, allowing the gods to travel swiftly through the air. These were perhaps the earliest inklings of flight, still imbued with a heavy dose of divine magic and symbolic imagery. Yet, as the centuries unfolded and the narratives became richer and more elaborate, particularly in the later epics like the Mahabharata and Ramayana, the descriptions evolved. The Vimanas took on a far more mechanical, engineered quality, suggesting a progression in the ancient conceptualization of aerial locomotion, moving beyond mere divine chariots to sophisticated machines. Consider the sheer audacity of such an idea for people living in an age defined by the ox cart, the walking path, or the simple boat. For them, walking, riding animals, or sailing on water were the absolute pinnacles of transport technology. To conceive of a machine that could lift itself effortlessly into the atmosphere, defy gravity, navigate the capricious winds, and carry beings across vast distances, was a thought that would have shattered conventional understanding. It challenges us deeply to ask, were these brilliant projections of an unbound imagination, fueled by dreams of the impossible? Or were they, instead, indelible recollections of a technological reality that has been lost to the relentless sands of time, forgotten by subsequent generations? The ancient texts describe Vimanas in a remarkable variety of forms and dazzling appearances, often evoking a sense of profound wonder. Some were said to shine with an intense inner luminescence, glowing like the sun or a bright star, perhaps hinting at a sophisticated energy source powering their flight. Others were likened to radiant clouds or perfectly circular platforms, gleaming like highly polished metal as they moved silently across the sky. Imagine yourself, an ancient villager, perhaps tending to your humble fields or drawing water from a sacred river, looking up one day to see such a craft, a multi-decked circular vessel, its metallic sheen catching the light, descending from the heavens, perhaps accompanied by an ethereal hum or a gentle, rhythmic thrumming. What emotions would stir within you? Undoubtedly, awe, reverence, perhaps a quiet terror at witnessing something so utterly beyond your comprehension and experience. It would be a sight that would forever redefine your understanding of the cosmos and the beings within it. One of the most famous examples, the Pushpaka Vimana, featured prominently in the revered Ramayana, is depicted as a magnificent aerial chariot originally belonging to Kubera, the god of wealth, and later seized by the formidable demon king Ravana. This Vimana was not merely capable of flight. Its descriptions suggest an almost sentient intelligence and incredible adaptability. It could change its shape at will, adapting to different environments or needs, and was said to travel at incredible speeds, covering immense distances in what felt like a blink of an eye. Crucially, it was described as self-moving, requiring no animals to pull it, suggesting a highly sophisticated internal mechanism or propulsion system. Its ability to carry any number of passengers, expanding or contracting to accommodate them, speaks to an understanding of space and mass manipulation that remains a marvel even to modern physics. A truly astonishing concept for an ancient text. The materials from which these Vimanas were supposedly constructed are also hinted at in the texts, often referred to as metals of unknown composition, or perhaps a blend of known elements that resulted in properties far superior to anything we understand from metallurgy of that era. They were built for specific purposes, for journey, for exploration, and, unsettlingly, sometimes for war. The Rig Veda itself mentions various types of chariots, used by different deities, each with unique characteristics and functions, suggesting a surprisingly detailed classification system for these aerial vehicles. The Ashvin's divine twin physicians, known for their healing powers, were said to possess a wondrous, three-wheeled golden chariot that could traverse space and even time, implying mastery over concepts that transcend mere aerial movement. These divine vehicles were not just modes of transport. They were instruments of divine will, capable of feats that defy our current scientific understanding. As we gently drift through these ancient narratives, allowing their subtle whispers to permeate our consciousness, we are invited to consider not just the superficial details of these Vimana descriptions, but the profound underlying knowledge that would be required to even imagine such concepts in a coherent and descriptive manner. Propulsion, aerodynamics, structural integrity, advanced navigation at altitude, perhaps even rudimentary control systems. These are all complex scientific fields that these ancient texts seem to implicitly grasp, even if described through the poetic, spiritual, and sometimes allegorical language of their time. The very existence of such precise and recurring descriptions across multiple distinct ancient texts compels us to pause and wonder. What if the ancients truly possessed a deeper understanding of the physical world and its advanced possibilities than we have ever given them credit for? What if the echoes of their innovations, their lost technologies, are still reverberating through these timeless stories, patiently waiting for us to truly listen and perhaps to finally comprehend? As we drift further into the serene realms of these ancient accounts, our contemplation of the Vimanas deepens, revealing a complexity that challenges the very foundations of conventional history. Beyond their shimmering exterior and the sheer miracle of ancient flight, these texts offer tantalizing glimpses into their inner workings, their varied classifications, and the almost unbelievable functionalities attributed to them. It is as if the ancients possessed an architectural and engineering lexicon that extended far beyond simple observation, hinting at a profound, almost intuitive, understanding of advanced mechanics. The ancient Indian texts, particularly the Samarangana Sutrodhara, an 11th century Sanskrit treatise on architecture, mechanical devices, and statecraft, dedicated entire chapters to the construction and operation of these aerial vehicles. While this text is of a later period than the epics, it is often seen as a compilation or distillation of older knowledge, providing detailed insights into various Vimana types. It speaks of circular, disc-shaped craft, sometimes described as having multiple decks and viewing windows, reminiscent of modern-day flying saucers or multi-story aircraft. Other descriptions hint at elongated, cigar-shaped vessels, perhaps designed for long-distance or high-speed travel, distinct in their purpose and design. These varying forms suggest not a single, monolithic concept of a flying machine, but a diverse fleet, each designed for specific missions, from reconnaissance to transport and even celestial warfare. Central to the enigma of the Vimanas are their supposed propulsion systems. The texts often speak of Mercury vortex engines, a concept that sounds utterly fantastical to a modern ear, yet is described with an intriguing level of detail. Imagine a sealed chamber filled with mercury, heated by a controlled flame, generating a powerful vortex that somehow propelled the craft. This Mercury engine theory is one of the most persistent and debated aspects of the Mana law, suggesting a command over physical forces and a knowledge of chemistry or perhaps even protophysics that remains baffling. Other accounts allude to a subtle energy, perhaps harnessed from the atmosphere, or even solar power, as sources for their movement. The absence of visible propellers, sails, or animal power consistently highlights a reliance on internal, highly advanced mechanisms, hinting at a clean energy source far more efficient than anything available to ancient terrestrial technologies. The materials used in their construction are equally fascinating. While some texts refer to precious metals, like gold, suggesting divine grandeur, others allude to specific alloys and composites. Lightweight, yet incredibly strong, capable of withstanding extreme temperatures and pressures. These were not the brittle ceramics or crude iron of the ancient world, but materials with properties seemingly unknown to contemporary metallurgy. Imagine a metal that could be molded and shaped with ease, yet become incredibly rigid and durable once assembled, perhaps even possessing properties of invisibility or imperviousness to conventional weapons. Such descriptions push the boundaries of what we understand about ancient craftsmanship, hinting at lost arts of material science that elude us today. But it was in their maneuverability that Vimanas truly excelled. Beyond simple, linear flight, they were said to possess capabilities that defy even some of our most advanced modern aircraft. They could hover silently in the air for extended periods, remaining perfectly stationary without any visible means of support, a feat that modern helicopters and drones strive to perfect, but often with significant noise and energy expenditure. They were capable of rapid ascents and descents, accelerating to incredible speeds in moments, or slowing to a gentle glide, defying the inertia and drag that our contemporary machines battle. Some descriptions even speak of their ability to become invisible, blurring their form or disappearing entirely from sight, perhaps through some form of cloaking technology or manipulation of light and perception. The agility and precision of their movements, performing intricate aerial maneuvers, suggest not just brute force, propulsion, but highly sophisticated control systems, perhaps even guided by thought or a sophisticated interface that responded directly to the operator's will. A concept still in the realm of science fiction for us today. The operational descriptions often include scenarios of their use in battle, demonstrating defensive capabilities like projecting screens of light or energy, and offensive ones involving projectiles or energy bursts. These depictions paint a picture of versatile, powerful aerial platforms, far removed from simple chariots. As we gently absorb these intricate details, a crucial question surfaces, one that invites deep, quiet contemplation. Were these Vimanas literal flying machines, tangible objects that once graced the ancient skies, leaving no physical remnants for us to discover? Or were they elaborate metaphors, symbolic representations of spiritual journeys, cosmic knowledge, or perhaps even a primitive, yet profound, understanding of astronomical movements and celestial bodies? While the poetic and allegorical nature of ancient texts often lends itself to multiple interpretations, the sheer specificity and consistency of the descriptions particularly in later treatises and philosophical discussions, makes a purely symbolic reading increasingly difficult to reconcile. The consistent mention of components, propulsion methods, operational characteristics, and tactical deployments leans heavily towards the idea of engineered constructs, however fantastical they may seem to our modern sensibilities. It forces us to confront the possibility that ancient narratives might contain literal truths disguised within a language we no longer fully comprehend. Another theory, both profound and subtly unsettling, postulates that these accounts are not of human invention at all, but rather eyewitness descriptions of extraterrestrial craft or visitation. If ancient peoples observed highly advanced beings arriving in flying vehicles, their attempts to describe such technology using their limited vocabulary and conceptual framework would naturally result in what we now read as Vimana lore. The idea that gods descended from the heavens in these shining chariots takes on a new, more tangible dimension when viewed through the lens of ancient encounters with advanced visitors, offering a different, yet equally compelling, explanation for the technological sophistication described. This perspective doesn't diminish the wonder of the texts, but rather shifts its source, inviting us to ponder the true origins of such astonishing knowledge and the possibility of ancient contact. Yet another possibility, humbling to our modern assumptions of linear progress, is that these texts are echoes from an even older, lost human civilization. A civilization that achieved technological prowess similar to, or even beyond, our own, only to be wiped away by some cataclysmic event, leaving only these fragmented written legacies behind. Such a possibility suggests not a steady march of progress, but cycles of rise and fall, of knowledge gained, profoundly forgotten, and then, perhaps, slowly rediscovered over millennia. This idea resonates deeply with the human experience of lost empires and forgotten arts. Scaled to a global, technological level, regardless of the precise explanation, the persistence, specificity, and profound detail of the Vimana descriptions across diverse ancient texts serve as a quiet testament to a monumental mystery. They compel us to expand our understanding of what was truly possible in the ancient world, inviting us to look beyond the archaeological dig sites and into the rich, complex narratives woven into the very fabric of ancient thought. As the night deepens, let these whispers of ancient flight continue to stir a gentle curiosity, softly challenging the conventional boundaries of your imagination and understanding, drawing you ever closer to a restful slumber filled with cosmic possibilities. As the gentle current of our journey carries us into the deeper implications of these ancient aerial marvels, let us consider what the sustained presence of Vimana narratives might have meant for the societies that composed and revered them. Beyond the mere mechanics of flight, these descriptions paint a picture of cultures deeply aware of, or perhaps even actively interacting with, advanced technologies. Imagine the profound impact such flying machines would have had on the collective consciousness of ancient peoples. How would their understanding of the world, their gods, their capabilities, and their very place in the cosmos have been shaped by the knowledge or experience of beings traversing the skies in magnificent, self-propelled craft? It would surely have broadened their horizons beyond anything we currently attribute to them, influencing their art, their architecture, their spiritual beliefs, and potentially even their scientific pursuits, in ways we are only beginning to humbly ponder. The narratives suggest that the existence of Vimanas wasn't an isolated anomaly, but was integrated into the fabric of their understanding of advanced power and wisdom. These machines were often associated with divine beings or powerful kings, implying that mastery of the skies was synonymous with immense authority and advanced knowledge. The implications stretch beyond just transportation. They hint at a worldview that accounted for rapid, long-distance movement, perhaps even between different realms or planets, suggesting an astronomical and cosmological understanding that went far beyond basic observation. Such descriptions subtly challenge our modern linear progression of history, gently asking us to consider if there were indeed periods of advanced knowledge that have since been forgotten, leaving only these textual echoes behind. While the Hindu texts provide the most extensive and detailed accounts of flying machines, the concept of aerial travel is not exclusive to ancient India. Whispers and more explicit mentions of flying devices or celestial craft can be found across various ancient cultures, adding another layer to this profound mystery. In Sumerian myths, for instance, there are references to boats that fly or chariots that soar, used by powerful deities to journey between the heavens and the earth. These are often described as gleaming vessels, capable of great speed and maneuverability, much like their Indian counterparts. The Egyptian hieroglyphs and religious texts also contain intriguing imagery, sometimes interpreted as depicting bird-like or even more mechanical aerial vehicles associated with their gods and pharaohs. While not as detailed as the Vimana accounts, these scattered references across different continents suggest a shared underlying idea of advanced aerial transport existing in a time when such feats should have been utterly impossible. These cross-cultural parallels gently reinforce the idea that the fascination with or knowledge of advanced flight was not a singular cultural fantasy but a more widespread phenomenon. Whether these were independent mythologies arising from universal human aspiration, or fragmented memories of a shared, ancient reality, remains a question to be contemplated in the quiet corners of the mind. The persistence of these motifs across diverse civilizations, separated by vast distances and seemingly unconnected, compels us to consider the possibility of a common source of inspiration or a shared ancient contact that seeded these ideas into the human imagination. As we conclude our segment on ancient aviation, we turn our attention to one of the most intriguing and controversial texts that purports to detail ancient flight technology, the Vimanas. This early 20th century Sanskrit text, attributed to the ancient sage Bharadvaja, claims to be a compilation of ancient knowledge regarding aerospace engineering and aircraft design. It describes in astonishing detail the construction of various types of Vimanas, specifying their materials, propulsion systems, pilot training, and even dietary requirements for the pilots. It goes so far as to outline mechanisms for making Vimanas invisible, for absorbing solar energy, and for deflecting enemy weapons. The Vaimanika Shastra posits specific Vimana types, such as the Rukma Vimana, designed for long journeys, and the Shakuna Vimana, described as an aerial vehicle that could change its shape to resemble a bird, allowing for stealth and maneuverability. It even delves into the metallurgy required, mentioning alloys that could withstand extreme conditions and materials that were resistant to fire. While mainstream scholars often debate its true antiquity, suggesting it might be a modern work based on older fragments rather than a direct ancient text, its existence and the level of specific detail it provides are undeniably thought-provoking. It raises the quiet, lingering question, even if compiled later: what ancient sources, what lost knowledge, might have inspired such an intricate and technologically sophisticated vision? The descriptions within the Vimanika Shastra, regardless of its definitive dating, serve as a testament to the enduring power of these ancient narratives and the profound questions they pose. They suggest an unbroken thread of fascination with, and conceptualization of, advanced flight that stretches across millennia. They invite us to consider that the ancients might have possessed a sophisticated, empirical, and even scientific understanding of the physical world that has been largely underestimated or entirely forgotten by our modern historical frameworks. As we gently move away from the skies and the incredible Vimanas, a sense of deep wonder at the ingenuity and mystery of the ancient world remains, guiding us softly toward the next incredible technological enigma awaiting our tranquil exploration. As we gently guide our thoughts away from the silent passage of the Vimanas through ancient skies, our tranquil exploration now shifts to an even more unsettling facet of antiquity's hidden knowledge. We turn our attention to descriptions of advanced, destructive weaponry that, like the flying machines, seem utterly anachronistic, defying the primitive technological landscape we typically associate with these early eras. These are not merely symbolic portrayals of divine anger or metaphorical expressions of overwhelming force. Rather, they are often accounts of devices and energies whose effects resonate with a chilling familiarity when viewed through the lens of modern understanding. In the vast and intricate tapestries of Hindu epics, particularly the Mahabharata and the Ramayana, alongside the Puranas, we encounter detailed narratives of weapons so potent, so utterly devastating, that they belong more to the realm of science fiction than to the historical record of ancient battlefields. Among these, one weapon stands out with particular solemnity and profound mystery: the Brahmastra. Imagine, for a moment, a force capable of unleashing destruction on an unimaginable scale, yet described in texts thousands of years old. This divine weapon, often depicted as a celestial arrow or a radiant bolt of energy, was said to be activated through specific incantations and profound spiritual knowledge, and once invoked, its power was almost unstoppable. The textual descriptions of the Brahmastra's power are truly chilling in their scope. It was considered the most potent and destructive of all divine weapons, capable of eradicating entire armies, laying waste to vast landscapes, and causing long-lasting environmental devastation. The sheer scale of its destructive capability is often presented with a sense of awe and profound trepidation, even by the gods and sages who possessed its knowledge. It was not a weapon to be used lightly, for its activation carried immense responsibility and dire consequences, often affecting the entire natural order and not just the immediate targets. Accounts of its use describe phenomena that eerily parallel the effects of modern, high-yield, conventional, or even nuclear weapons. The texts speak of silent detonations, a sudden, blinding flash of light followed by an immense heat that could vaporize all living beings and structures in its immediate vicinity. Imagine the profound terror and confusion of those who witnessed such an event. An overwhelming force unleashed without the roar of thunder or the clang of traditional weaponry. Only an unbearable light and an all-consuming fire. This silent detonation aspect is particularly striking, suggesting an energy release that transcends conventional explosions and hints at a different understanding of destructive power. Furthermore, the devastation wasn't limited to the immediate blast zone. The Brahmastra was said to cause widespread, long-lasting environmental impact. Narratives describe lands becoming barren, rivers drying up or becoming poisoned, and the very air becoming toxic and uninhabitable for generations. The dust and debris from its use would obscure the sun for days, plunging regions into a temporary, chilling darkness. This points to a knowledge of residual radiation or atmospheric contamination, concepts that are firmly rooted in modern physics and ecological science, but seem impossibly advanced for ancient times. How could ancient scribes, without scientific instruments or a developed understanding of atomic physics, describe effects so similar to those we now associate with nuclear fallout. This question invites us to ponder the source of such chillingly accurate foresight, or perhaps recollection. The activation of the Brahmastra was always portrayed as a solemn ritual, demanding immense focus and spiritual purity from its wielder. It wasn't simply a matter of pressing a button or pulling a trigger. It required a deep connection to cosmic forces, an understanding of universal laws, and a profound respect for the power being invoked. This suggests that the knowledge of such weaponry was intrinsically linked to a philosophical or spiritual framework, perhaps acting as a safeguard against its indiscriminate use. The ethical implications of possessing such destructive power, and the restraint often shown in its deployment, form a recurring theme, subtly mirroring the moral dilemmas faced by modern societies grappling with superweapons. In one particularly vivid account from the Mahabharata, the hero Arjuna is described wielding the Brahmastra during a critical moment in battle. The sheer magnitude of its destructive potential is conveyed not just through the physical devastation but also through the reactions of the characters, their fear, their desperate prayers, and their immediate recognition of an unstoppable force. The weapon, once discharged, was said to create such a powerful energy pulse that it could obliterate everything in its path, leaving behind scorched earth and shattered lives. The description of its light being as intense as 1,000 suns is another recurring motif, an evocative image that once again finds an unsettling parallel in descriptions of modern nuclear blasts. The very concept of a weapon capable of such widespread destruction challenges our assumptions about the nature of warfare in antiquity. We tend to envision ancient battles fought with swords, spears, and simple projectiles. Yet, these texts describe a form of conflict that, at its most extreme, involved technologies capable of reshaping landscapes and ending civilizations with a single strike. This invites us to gently reflect on whether our historical understanding of ancient warfare is profoundly incomplete, missing an entire dimension of destructive capability that has been relegated to myth or misunderstood as pure hyperbole. As we allow these powerful descriptions to settle quietly in our minds, let us remember that our journey is one of serene contemplation, not alarm. The purpose is to stimulate wonder, to gently challenge preconceived notions, and to open the mind to the vast untold stories hidden within our ancient past. The Brahmastra, with its terrifying power and its haunting echoes in modern weaponry, serves as a poignant reminder of the enduring mysteries that beckon us from the depths of history. It compels us to ask, once more, what hidden knowledge truly resided in the minds of the ancients, enabling them to conceive of such devastating technologies, and what profound lessons might still be contained within these ancient warnings, patiently waiting for us to decipher them. We will continue our exploration of these ancient weapons, delving into their broader implications and unsettling similarities to our own modern challenges. As the night embraces us further in its tranquil embrace, as our tranquil thoughts continue to unfurl within the quiet expanse of this night, we gently delve deeper into the profound implications of these ancient superweapons. The Brahmastra, as we explored, left behind not merely immediate devastation, but an enduring scar upon the very face of the earth. Imagine a world where flourishing forests turned to ash, where once fertile plains became barren deserts, and where crystal-clear rivers flowed with an insidious poison. The texts speak of lingering atmospheric toxicity, of lands rendered uninhabitable for countless years, and of a strange, enduring heat that radiated from the devastated zones, altering the delicate balance of life itself. These descriptions are not fleeting poetic flourishes. They are consistent, stark warnings, painting a picture of ecological ruin on a scale that, for millennia, we might have considered pure fantasy. Yet, as we calmly observe our own modern advancements, a profound and unsettling parallel begins to emerge. The ancient accounts of the Brahmastra's aftermath, the silent detonations, the blinding light, the immense heat, the long-term environmental degradation, the poisoned water, the sterile soil, and the lingering, invisible perils in the air, bear a chilling resemblance to the documented effects of present-day nuclear weapons. The concept of an atomic winter, where dust and debris obscure the sun, plunging the world into a temporary twilight, finds a stark premonition in these age-old narratives. How could ancient sages, living in a world without particle physics or advanced chemistry, describe with such uncanny accuracy the very consequences that modern science has meticulously documented through devastating experience? This is a question that invites a quiet, humble reflection, making us wonder if these were not just prophecies, but echoes of a forgotten past, a collective memory of a technologically advanced era that ultimately faced its own destructive capabilities. Beyond the Brahmastra, other divine weapons of immense power are mentioned in these ancient epics, each carrying its own profound implications. Consider the Pashupatastra, a weapon associated with Lord Shiva, depicted as possessing the power to annihilate creation itself, not just a localized area. Its activation was considered so catastrophic that it was reserved for the most dire circumstances, capable of laying waste to all existence. Then there is the Narayanastra, linked to Lord Vishnu, a weapon whose force would relentlessly pursue its target, increasing its power with any resistance, eventually overwhelming even the most formidable foe. The descriptions of these weapons are not about conventional warfare, but about the manipulation of fundamental forces, suggesting an understanding of energy and matter on a scale that defies our conventional historical timelines. They speak of a capacity for destruction so absolute that it calls into question the very nature of technological progress and its inherent dangers. And further still, the ancient texts contain subtle, yet intriguing, references to what might be interpreted as sonic or vibrational weaponry. Imagine a technology that could shatter objects or even affect consciousness, not through physical impact, but through precisely targeted sound waves or resonant frequencies. There are accounts of techniques or devices that could induce paralysis, confusion, or even physical disintegration through subtle vibrations or piercing tones. While these descriptions are often embedded within mystical or divine contexts, their underlying concepts, that specific frequencies or intense sound could exert profound physical and mental effects, resonates with certain fringe areas of modern scientific inquiry. It invites us to consider whether the ancients explored aspects of physics and energy manipulation that we are only now, hesitantly, beginning to understand. These ancient descriptions of weapons of mass destruction also invite us to gently contemplate the profound moral dilemmas inherent in such power. The texts often emphasize the strict codes of conduct and the immense ethical responsibility associated with wielding these divine armaments. Their use was often restricted, considered a last resort, and invoked with deep reverence for the potential for irreversible harm. This suggests that even in these purportedly ancient times, there was a keen awareness of the catastrophic consequences of unchecked technological power. It prompts a quiet, introspective question. Have civilizations, throughout the vast undulating cycles of history, repeatedly grappled with the same challenges of discovery and destruction, only to rise and fall, leaving behind fragmented warnings within their sacred texts? Perhaps these stories are not just tales of forgotten technologies, but timeless parables, softly whispering across the millennia, urging us to learn from a past that is far more complex and advanced than we often allow ourselves to imagine. As we allow these powerful, yet peacefully presented concepts to settle within your mind, let the unsettling echoes of ancient warfare gently dissolve into the tranquil calm of the night. This exploration is not meant to stir fear, but to foster a deeper sense of wonder and curiosity about the vast, hidden depths of human history and knowledge. The profound similarities between ancient descriptions and modern realities offer a humble invitation to reconsider our understanding of progress, and to reflect on the cyclical nature of knowledge and its inherent responsibilities. Let this quiet contemplation guide you further into serenity, preparing you for the next marvel of ancient ingenuity we are about to explore. The impossible feats of engineering and construction that dot our planet. Your mind, now gently stimulated by these profound mysteries, is perfectly poised to continue this peaceful journey into the depths of antiquity. As the gentle current of our journey continues to flow, easing your mind deeper into serene contemplation, we now shift our gaze from the fleeting marvels of ancient skies and the unsettling power of ancient weaponry to something perhaps even more enduring, more tangible, yet equally inexplicable. We turn our tranquil attention to the very ground beneath our feet, to the colossal architectural wonders and engineering feats that punctuate our ancient landscape structures that stand as silent stone witnesses to a past far more advanced than our textbooks often suggest. These are the works of ancient builders, architects of the implausible, who seemingly possessed knowledge and tools far beyond their supposed era, leaving us with monuments that defy conventional explanation. Imagine, if you will, the sheer willpower and the inconceivable technology that would be required to quarry, transport, and precisely place stones weighing hundreds, even thousands, of tons. We are talking about structures that, with all our modern machinery, with our cranes and our laser-guided precision, we would struggle immensely to replicate today. These are not merely large piles of rocks. They are intricate constructions, often exhibiting an almost alien level of precision and a profound understanding of physics and mechanics. Let us begin our tranquil exploration with Baalbek, nestled in present-day Lebanon. Here, amidst the ruins of Roman temples, lie the foundations of a much older, enigmatic platform. This platform is home to some of the largest hewn stones in the world, known as the trilithon. These three massive limestone blocks, each weighing an estimated 800 to 1,000 tons, are so perfectly fitted together that a single sheet of paper cannot be inserted between them, and nearby, in the quarry, lies the stone of the pregnant woman, an even larger monolith, estimated at over 1,200 tons, partially cut from the bedrock. The sheer scale of these stones, combined with the precision of their cutting and placement, presents an engineering puzzle that modern technology struggles to solve. How were such immense blocks extracted, moved, and then meticulously fitted into place without the aid of modern lifting equipment, advanced saws, or complex measuring instruments? The conventional explanations often fall short, leaving us to ponder the existence of a forgotten method, a lost technology, or perhaps even a different understanding of manipulating matter. Allow your mind to gently drift over the image of these impossible stones, silently asking, what force, what knowledge enabled their ancient builders? Then, let us journey in our mind's eye to the highlands of Peru, to the formidable Inca fortress of Sacsayhuaman, near Cusco. Here, we encounter a style of megalithic construction that is breathtaking in its intricacy and bewildering in its execution. The walls are composed of colossal, multi-sided stones, some weighing hundreds of tons, fitted together with such incredible precision that no mortar was needed. And they have withstood centuries of earthquakes, a testament to their structural integrity. Each stone is unique, its irregular shape interlocking perfectly with its neighbors, creating a jigsaw puzzle of monumental proportions. The surfaces of these stones are often so smooth, their angles so exact, that it appears as if they were cut with laser-like precision, almost melting into one another. How did ancient builders, supposedly working with rudimentary tools, achieve such flawless cuts and such intricate joins on stones of this immense size? The common narrative of hammering rocks with other rocks simply fails to account for the astonishing accuracy and the scale of the work. It hints at a mastery of stone cutting and a geometric understanding that far surpasses what we attribute to the Inca and their predecessors. Imagine the quiet effort, the focused intent that must have gone into shaping each colossal piece, each one a unique puzzle piece. It's each one a unique puzzle piece in a grand, unfathomable design. And, of course, we cannot speak of impossible ancient architecture without turning our tranquil thoughts to the Giza Plateau in Egypt, home to the Great Pyramids. While much has been theorized and discovered about their construction, certain aspects continue to baffle modern engineers. The sheer volume of stone used, millions of blocks, many weighing several tons, and their precise placement to create structures of such astronomical alignment and longevity remains a subject of profound wonder. Consider the internal passages and chambers, constructed with incredible accuracy, some aligning with celestial bodies. The level of astronomical knowledge required, combined with the logistical challenge of building on such a massive scale, points to an organizational and technical capacity that is truly astonishing. The precision with which these vast structures were erected, the perfect angles and alignments, speak to a mathematical and engineering acumen that seems out of step with the simple copper tools and basic measuring devices typically attributed to the pyramid builders. These structures are not just monuments. They are profound questions etched in stone. They challenge our conventional understanding of ancient human capabilities, prompting us to consider alternative explanations. Were the builders of Baalbek, Sacsayhuaman, and Giza privy to a lost science of acoustics, capable of levitating stones with sound? Or did they possess knowledge of advanced tools, perhaps powered by unknown energy sources, that could cut and shape rock with unparalleled ease? Was there a forgotten understanding of anti-gravity or some other fundamental force that allowed these colossal blocks to be moved as if they were feathers? The prevailing theories often involve immense human labor, ramps, and levers, but when confronted with the sheer scale and precision, these explanations often feel incomplete, failing to fully capture the astonishing reality. As you allow these images of impossible stone monuments to gently fill your mind, let the quietude of the night deepen your sense of wonder. These ancient architects, these forgotten engineers, left behind a legacy that continues to baffle and inspire, subtly suggesting that the boundaries of ancient possibility were far grander than we currently perceive. Their works stand as a humble reminder that much of our history remains shrouded in mystery, patiently awaiting a deeper understanding, a quiet reevaluation of what was truly possible in the ages long past. We will continue to explore these incredible feats of engineering, delving into hidden cities and impossible materials, as our journey progresses peacefully, as our thoughts continue to gently unfurl in the tranquil embrace of the night. Letting go of the colossal stones that crown our earth, we now delve deeper into the astonishing realm of ancient engineering. moving beyond what lies visible to what lies hidden beneath the surface and beneath the waves. The enigma of ancient construction extends far beyond individual megalithic sites. It also encompasses visions of sophisticated urban planning and the very concept of entire cities, some seemingly constructed with an advanced understanding of infrastructure, some submerged by cataclysmic events, others deliberately hidden from the light of day. These narratives and archaeological discoveries quietly compel us to re-evaluate the full scope of ancient ingenuity and the lost technologies that might have shaped entire civilizations. The ancient texts, particularly those from India, contain descriptions of cities built with remarkable foresight and sophisticated organization. These were not haphazard settlements, but planned metropolises, complete with advanced drainage systems, multi-story buildings, and public facilities that suggest a profound understanding of urban design and sanitation. Imagine, for a moment, the bustling streets of such an ancient city where water flowed freely through intricate channels. Waste was efficiently managed, and structures stood tall with a precision that speaks of masterful planning. These descriptions hint at a level of civil engineering that far exceeds the commonly accepted capabilities of the ancient world, inviting us to ponder how such complex infrastructure was conceived and maintained without the modern tools of surveying, material science, or mechanical excavation. Now, allow your mind to drift quietly underground to the astounding mysteries of subterranean cities. One of the most compelling examples is Derinkuyu in Cappadocia, Turkey, a vast multi-level underground city capable of housing thousands of people along with their livestock. Carved deep into soft volcanic rock, this subterranean marvel extends for many levels, featuring intricate ventilation shafts stretching hundreds of feet to the surface, complex water wells, kitchens, stables, chapels, and even schools. Imagine living in such a place, a labyrinthine world beneath the earth, designed for protection and self-sufficiency. The sheer scale of excavation, the meticulous planning required for air circulation and water supply across multiple subterranean floors, and the precision needed to prevent collapse, all point to an engineering feat that remains profoundly impressive. How were these vast spaces excavated with only rudimentary tools? And how was the delicate balance of ventilation and structural integrity maintained without modern surveying and geological understanding? The very existence of such a city, crafted entirely underground, speaks to a lost knowledge of subterranean architecture and perhaps even sophisticated drilling and cutting techniques. What lost fears drove people to create such a hidden world, and what technologies allowed them to do so? From the depths of the earth, let us now serenely journey to the profound mysteries of the deep sea, where legends of submerged cities whisper of an even more astounding lost technology. One of the most famous and intriguing is the ancient city of Dwarka, off the coast of Gujarat, India, mentioned extensively in the Mahabharata and other Hindu texts as a magnificent city built by Lord Krishna. Dwarka was said to have been swallowed by the sea after his departure. Modern archaeological expeditions have indeed discovered sophisticated underwater structures, including a grid pattern of walls, pillars, and remnants of what appear to be ancient buildings, at depths and over areas that challenge conventional historical timelines of known maritime construction. The discovery of these underwater ruins, often precisely laid out, with some dating back many thousands of years, subtly hints at a forgotten civilization with the capacity for advanced coastal or even underwater construction, or at the very least, sophisticated urban development that predates its submergence. Across the globe, another mesmerizing underwater enigma awaits: the Yonaguni Monument off the coast of Japan. Discovered by divers, This colossal submerged rock formation presents perfectly straight edges, sharp angles, massive terraces, and colossal steps, all appearing to be cut with uncanny precision from the bedrock. While some geologists argue it is a purely natural formation, the striking regularity of its features, including triangular depressions and pathways, leads many to believe it is a man-made or at least man-modified structure, perhaps an ancient city or a ceremonial site, submerged by seismic activity or rising sea levels. The scale of the Yonaguni monument, with its intricate rock formations stretching across a vast area underwater, challenges our understanding of ancient engineering. If it is indeed artificial, what kind of tools and methods allowed for such monumental shaping of rock, possibly thousands of years ago, and then how did it survive its submersion with such enduring structural integrity? The thought of an advanced civilization capable of such construction, now quietly resting beneath the ocean's surface, sparks a deep sense of wonder and humility. These ancient accounts of subterranean and submerged cities, whether drawn from text or physical discovery, broaden our understanding of the term architecture of the implausible. They suggest that the ancients not only mastered the manipulation of immense stones on land, but perhaps also possessed the knowledge to build and sustain complex habitations in environments we consider hostile or impossible for their time. The very concept of maintaining these structures, whether underground or underwater, hints at an understanding of material science, environmental control, and structural dynamics that continues to elude clear explanation. Were there lost materials, perhaps composites or specialized forms of concrete, that allowed these structures to withstand the test of time, water, and earth in ways that surprise us today? As we gently bring this segment of our journey to a close, letting the images of hidden cities and submerged marvels softly recede, a profound question lingers. How much of ancient history remains unseen, unexamined, and profoundly misunderstood simply because we limit our search to what is easily accessible or conventionally expected? The architects of the implausible, whether through their monumental surface works or their hidden creations, remind us that the past holds far more secrets than we have yet uncovered. They invite us to embrace a sense of quiet wonder, allowing the mysteries of forgotten civilizations to gently prepare our minds for a peaceful slumber as we continue our exploration into the depths of ancient knowledge and its impossible technologies, as the gentle currents of our nocturnal journey guide us ever deeper into the tranquil seas of ancient knowledge. We now softly turn our gaze from the colossal constructions etched into the earth and submerged beneath the waves, to an even more intimate and profound realm, the very essence of life itself. Prepare to gently ponder narratives and insights from ancient texts that reveal a startlingly sophisticated understanding of biology, medicine, and the intricate mechanisms of the human body, concepts that seem impossibly advanced for epochs long past. We often imagine ancient healing as rudimentary, relying on simple herbs and superstitious rituals, yet, within the quiet wisdom of their scriptures, we find descriptions that challenge this perception, hinting at a mastery over life sciences that rivals, and in some ways even prefigures, our own modern medical advancements. Imagine a time, thousands of years ago, when the subtleties of anatomy and physiology were described with a precision that surprises us today. The very idea of advanced surgical procedures, the meticulous repair of the human form, or even the audacious concept of restoring vitality to the seemingly lifeless, emerges from texts conceived long before the advent of microscopes, antiseptics, or detailed anatomical dissection as we know it. this category of impossible technology is perhaps the most humbling, for it touches upon our most fundamental vulnerabilities and our enduring quest for health and longevity. It invites us to quietly consider what profound observations, what forgotten methodologies, allowed ancient civilizations to glimpse such deep insights into the miracle of life and its healing. Let us gently delve into the revered Sushruta Samhita, an ancient Sanskrit text considered one of the foundational treatises of Ayurveda, the traditional Indian system of medicine, dating back possibly to the 6th century BCE or even earlier. This remarkable text is a comprehensive manual on surgery, detailing over 300 surgical procedures and more than 120 surgical instruments. Imagine the hands of an ancient surgeon working with such a detailed understanding, performing operations that seem almost miraculous. The descriptions are not vague. They cover various types of incisions, excisions, scarifications, puncturing, and probing. It outlines complex procedures such as rhinoplasty, reconstructive surgery of the nose using skin grafts from the patient's cheek or forehead. Think of the meticulous skill required, the profound anatomical knowledge, and the sophisticated instruments needed to perform such delicate reconstructive surgery thousands of years ago. This wasn't merely mending wounds. It was an art of restoration, an attempt to reconstruct that which was damaged, hinting at an understanding of tissue manipulation and healing far beyond what we typically assign to the ancient world. Beyond reconstructive surgery, the Sushruta Samhita also describes the treatment of cataracts, the removal of bladder stones, and even advanced dentistry. It speaks of the precise suturing of wounds, the use of various dressings, and the importance of hygiene to prevent infection. The emphasis on detailed diagnosis, prognosis, and therapeutic procedures suggests a structured and empirical approach to medicine rather than a purely mystical one. These ancient medical practitioners, often described as sages and healers, were not just performing simple remedies. They were engaging in complex interventions that required an intimate knowledge of the human body's vulnerabilities and its remarkable capacity for healing. It prompts a quiet wonder. How did they acquire such detailed insights without the aid of modern diagnostic technologies? What lost wisdom allowed them to peer so deeply into the biological workings of life? Furthermore, other ancient texts, such as sections of the Atharva Veda, another of the 4 Vedas, contain hymns and incantations related to healing, but also touch upon a sophisticated understanding of disease, anatomy, and pharmacology. While often framed in spiritual or ritualistic language, the underlying knowledge of herbs, their properties, and their application to various ailments is remarkably astute. These texts describe medicinal plants with specific effects on different bodily systems, suggesting a detailed understanding of phytochemistry and the intricate interactions between natural compounds and human physiology. It speaks of internal medicine, of treatments for various illnesses, and even of the earliest forms of prosthetics, where references to artificial limbs or replacements for lost body parts are subtly woven into the narratives. Imagine the quiet innovation, the profound empathy required to conceive of and create such aids for those who had suffered loss, long before the age of advanced materials or biomechanics. The profound scope of ancient biological and medical understanding also extends to the very concept of rejuvenation and life extension. Tales of potent herbs, elixirs of immortality, or techniques for extreme longevity resonate through many ancient narratives. One of the most famous examples from Hindu mythology is the legendary herb Sanjivani. This mythical plant was said to possess such potent restorative properties that it could cure any ailment, revive the gravely wounded, or even bring the dead back to life. In the Ramayana, during a critical battle, when Lakshmana is gravely injured, Hanuman is dispatched to fetch the Sanjivani herb from a distant mountain. The narrative describes its glow, its power to restore life, and the urgency with which it was sought. While clearly mythological, the concept itself, a single substance capable of such profound biological reversal and rejuvenation, is astonishing. It speaks to an ancient aspiration, or perhaps a lost knowledge, of cellular regeneration, potent healing factors, or even advanced biopharmaceutical understanding that far outstrips the medical capabilities of our own recent past. These ancient descriptions, whether of intricate surgeries, precise herbal remedies, or miraculous rejuvenation, compel us to gently rethink the linear progression of medical history. They hint at a lost chapter where the ancients explored the frontiers of life sciences with a depth and sophistication that we are only now, many millennia later, beginning to fully appreciate and sometimes even rediscover. The quiet contemplation of these medical marvels invites a humble recognition. Perhaps the secrets to extraordinary healing and biological mastery were not solely the domain of our modern laboratories, but once resided in the serene wisdom of ancient physicians and sages, patiently waiting to be understood anew. As the night deepens, let these whispers of ancient life science continue to stir a gentle curiosity, softly challenging the conventional boundaries of your imagination and understanding, drawing you ever closer to a restful slumber filled with cosmic possibilities. As our tranquil contemplation of ancient healing and life extension softly deepens, we now venture into an even more intricate and profoundly speculative dimension of ancient biological understanding. We gently turn our minds to narratives that suggest not merely the mending of life, but its very manipulation. Accounts of unusual births, complex biological engineering, and even the audacious concept of transferring consciousness. These are tales that, when viewed through the lens of modern science, hint at a knowledge of genetics and the fundamental blueprints of existence that seems utterly impossible for their time. They invite us to quietly consider, what if ancient civilizations possessed insights into the very mechanisms of creation, allowing them to envision, or perhaps even practice, what we now call genetic manipulation? Imagine the quiet revolution of understanding life itself, not just as a natural unfolding, but as something that could be subtly guided, altered, or even artificially initiated. While often wrapped in the mystical or divine, certain ancient narratives contain striking parallels to advanced biological concepts that challenge our most basic assumptions about historical progress. These aren't simple folk stories. They are intricate accounts that, if taken literally, speak volumes about a lost command over the very building blocks of life. One of the most compelling and frequently discussed examples of what could be interpreted as ancient genetic manipulation or in vitro fertilization comes from the epic Mahabharata, a foundational text of Hindu philosophy and history. We turn to the fascinating and intricate story of the birth of the Kauravas. Their mother, Gandhari, wife of King Dhritarashtra, was said to have had a prolonged and difficult pregnancy. Over 2 years, she carried a pregnancy that resulted not in a child, but in a hardened mass of flesh. Imagine the disappointment, the confusion, and the profound mystery of such an event in ancient times. It was at this point that the revered sage, Vyasa, intervened. According to the narrative, Vyasa, known for his immense spiritual power and wisdom, took this mass of flesh. He then carefully divided it into 101 individual pieces. These pieces were subsequently placed into 101 separate jars, each filled with clarified butter or ghee, and then meticulously incubated for a specific period. Imagine the precision, the controlled environment, and the patience required for such a process, described millennia ago. After the incubation period, from these jars emerged 100 sons, who would become the Kauravas, and 1 daughter. Now, pause for a moment and allow your mind to gently deconstruct this ancient narrative, the division of a single embryonic mass into multiple distinct entities, followed by artificial incubation in carefully prepared containers, bears a striking resemblance to modern concepts of embryo division and in vitro fertilization. The idea of taking a single biological source and guiding its development into multiple individuals is, in essence, a form of cloning or assisted reproductive technology. How could ancient sages, living in an era without even a rudimentary understanding of cellular biology, let alone genetic engineering, conceive of such an intricate and scientifically precise process? It points to either an astonishing leap of imaginative foresight, or, more subtly, an echo of a forgotten science, a profound understanding of embryology and biological development that has been lost to the annals of history. This story, in its quiet power, invites us to consider that the ancients might have known things about the origins and manipulation of life that we are only now, with our advanced laboratories and vast scientific resources, beginning to fully comprehend. Furthermore, ancient texts and spiritual traditions also contain intriguing references to the concept of consciousness transfer or even body swapping. These are not common tales, but their existence in various forms across different traditions speaks to a profound understanding of consciousness as something distinct from the physical body and potentially manipulable. Imagine the concept of transferring one's soul or essential consciousness into another body, either to escape a dying vessel, to gain new experiences, or even to extend life. In some yogic traditions, there are esoteric practices that speak of methods for projecting consciousness or transferring it. The Ramayana, for instance, has the story of King Tresanku, who wished to ascend to heaven in his physical body, implying a manipulation of the very physical and spiritual boundaries of existence. These narratives subtly introduce the idea that the ancient understanding of life extended beyond mere physical form to the very essence of being, if consciousness could be separated and reintegrated. It implies a profound knowledge of neurology, metaphysics, and perhaps even forms of energy manipulation that allowed for such a transfer. It raises quiet, philosophical questions that mirror modern debates in neuroscience and artificial intelligence. What is consciousness? Is it purely a product of the brain, or something that can exist independently? And could ancient technologies or spiritual practices have unlocked secrets to manipulating this very essence of self? The implications of these ancient biological insights are truly profound. They open a mirror opening, reflecting modern ethical dilemmas that we face today with genetic engineering, cloning, and even the potential for consciousness uploading. If ancient cultures grappled with these concepts, even in mythological form, it suggests a cyclical pattern of discovery and the perennial questions that accompany humanity's mastery over life. It invites a conditional future perspective. If only we knew what they knew, if we could unlock the full scope of their understanding, what transformative advancements and what ethical considerations might we uncover? As we gently conclude this exploration of ancient biology, medicine, and genetics, allowing these intricate puzzles to softly settle within your tranquil mind, remember that our journey is one of serene contemplation, not of urgent answers. The sheer depth and sophistication of these ancient concepts, from detailed surgeries to the possibility of genetic manipulation and consciousness transfer, compel us to humbly reconsider the linear narrative of human progress. They whisper of a forgotten mastery over life's profound secrets, urging us to remain open to the vast and beautiful mysteries that still envelop our ancient past. Let this quiet wonder guide you further into serenity, preparing you for the next marvel of ancient ingenuity we are about to explore: the mysterious communication, surveillance, and energy anomalies that challenge our understanding of ancient technologies. Your mind, now gently stimulated by these profound mysteries, is perfectly poised to continue this peaceful journey into the depths of antiquity, drawing you ever closer to a restful slumber as our tranquil journey through the biological marvels of antiquity gently recedes. We now softly pivot our contemplation toward another astonishing realm of ancient sophistication: the unseen networks of communication, the silent eyes of surveillance, and the enigmatic sources of energy that powered these forgotten wonders. These are aspects of ancient life that, much like their flying machines and devastating weapons, seem plucked directly from a distant future, yet they are woven deeply into the fabric of their timeless narratives. Imagine, if you will, a profound capacity not bound by physical distance or the constraints of Tima divine sight, or divya drishti, as it is sometimes known in ancient Indian texts. This isn't just about enhanced vision. It's about a form of remote viewing, a perception that could transcend vast geographical distances, pierce through solid objects, or even glimpse events unfolding in the distant past or the unfolding future. Many narratives speak of sages and enlightened beings who possessed this extraordinary faculty, able to observe battles from afar, understand hidden motives of adversaries, or witness cosmic events as if they were personally present. The legendary sage Sanjaya in the Mahabharata, for instance, was granted Divya Drishti by Vyasa to narrate the entire Kurukshetra war to the blind king Dhritarashtra. Even though Sanjaya was far removed from the battlefield, this is akin to an ancient organic form of surveillance, or perhaps even a telepresence system, where highly developed consciousness served as the ultimate receiver and transmitter of information. Think of the modern concepts of satellite surveillance, remote sensing, or even real-time global communication, but achieved not through complex electronic machinery, but through a refined, almost technological, mastery of the human mind and its intrinsic connection to universal consciousness. How could ancient texts describe such an ability with consistent detail, if not drawing from a profound understanding of perception or even advanced psychic phenomena that we are only now cautiously beginning to explore? The very idea challenges our understanding of what constitutes technology, pushing it beyond mechanical devices into the realm of mental and spiritual mastery. Further still, the whispers of ancient lore hint at methods of instantaneous communication that defy the limitations of messengers on horseback or slow-moving caravans. While not always described as physical devices, the concept of conveying messages, thoughts, or even complex strategic information across immense distances in the blink of an eye is a recurring motif, whether through highly developed telepathy among enlightened beings, coded energy transmissions, or perhaps even intricate, unseen networks that connected distant locations. These accounts suggest a bypass of conventional physical communication. In the Mahabharata and other Puranic texts, we find instances where critical information is exchanged between characters who are geographically separated, seemingly without any physical means, sometimes attributed to divine intervention. These communications always imply a mechanism that transcends the ordinary and the physically explainable. This challenges our perception of ancient societies as isolated and slow to disseminate information. suggesting the possibility of interconnectedness and information exchange on a scale we previously deemed impossible for their era. Imagine the strategic advantage, the cultural exchange, and the rapid sharing of knowledge that such a communication system would enable, fundamentally altering the pace and nature of ancient civilizations. It opens a quiet mental door to a world where thoughts or intentions could traverse vast distances, a concept that continues to captivate modern science, and within the intriguing tapestry of ancient tales, particularly from diverse cultures including Greece, Egypt, and parts of India, we also find veiled references to what can only be described as mechanical beings, automatons, or artificial servants designed for specific purposes. In Greek myths, the god Hephaestus was said to have created golden maidens who assisted him, and even automatons that could move and speak. In Egyptian lore, some statues of gods were believed to be animated or capable of performing tasks, implying a mechanical ingenuity that blurred the lines between art and engineering. In certain Indian texts, descriptions of beings serving powerful sages or kings often include qualities that sound less like living organisms and more like highly sophisticated machines performing complex tasks with unwavering efficiency, perhaps even possessing a rudimentary form of artificial intelligence. Imagine ancient legends speaking of automated sentinels guarding sacred sites, or mechanical servants attending to daily needs with tireless precision, a silent testament to an ambition to create intelligent, responsive entities long before the digital age and the invention of complex clockwork. These are not just fantastical beasts, but rather constructs that seem to embody a lost art of mechanical automation, challenging our understanding of ancient robotics and demonstrating an early aspiration to create lifelike machines. Finally, our tranquil exploration leads us to perhaps one of the most fundamental and universally sought-after technologies, the generation and harnessing of energy. Ancient texts occasionally allude to unusual and seemingly impossible power sources that defy conventional understanding. One such intriguing concept is that of perpetual lamps. Imagine lamps that burned continuously for centuries, even millennia, without requiring fuel, their flames sustained by an unknown, unending energy source. Such lamps are mentioned in various ancient cultures, often found in sealed tombs or underground chambers, still glowing after being sealed for ages. While often dismissed as mere folklore or misinterpretations, the persistent tales invite us to ponder if ancient civilizations had discovered methods of energy generation, perhaps through the harnessing of atmospheric energy, geothermal power, or even a precursor to our modern understanding of electromagnetism that have since been forgotten. Accounts of temples that were lit perpetually, or objects that emitted light without a visible source, suggest a mastery over light and power that eludes our current historical record. Other accounts subtly hint at the manipulation of elemental forces or even the channeling of subtle cosmic energies for practical applications, far beyond mere ritualistic use. These tantalizing glimpses of ancient power sources challenge our assumption that sustained and efficient energy generation is a purely modern invention. They whisper of a time when the ancients might have held keys to energies that continue to elude our complete understanding, leaving behind only the faintest glow in their timeless stories and cryptic descriptions. As we allow these fascinating visions of ancient communication, surveillance, and energy to settle within your mind, let the curiosity they inspire be a soft current that carries you further into tranquility. These concepts, seemingly plucked from our distant future, are instead woven deeply into the fabric of our ancient past, reminding us that the human quest for understanding and mastery is a timeless endeavor. They challenge the linear progression of history, suggesting instead a rich, complex tapestry where knowledge rises and falls, is forgotten and rediscovered across the vast expanse of time. Let this sense of profound mystery gently prepare you for a deeper, more peaceful sleep, as our journey continues to unveil the cosmic navigators of antiquity. As our tranquil journey continues its gentle unspooling through the profound mysteries of ancient technologies, we now softly pivot our contemplation from the ingenious systems of communication and surveillance, and the enigmatic power sources that hinted at forgotten sciences, to an even more expansive and awe-inspiring realm, the cosmos itself. Prepare to gently drift into ancient narratives that reveal a startlingly sophisticated understanding of astronomy, the intricate dance of celestial bodies, the very fabric of time, and even the existence of parallel worlds. These are not mere poetic musings about the stars. These are descriptions that suggest a comprehensive, empirical, and profoundly deep knowledge of the universe. Centuries, and even millennia, before such insights were supposedly discovered by modern science. Imagine, if you will, the vast star-dusted canopy of the ancient night sky, stretching boundlessly above the earth. For our ancient ancestors, this was not just a beautiful spectacle, but a living, breathing map, a profound source of wisdom and wonder. While we often attribute basic observational astronomy to early cultures, certain texts reveal an understanding that goes far beyond simple recognition of constellations or the tracking of the sun and moon. They speak of planetary movements with a remarkable accuracy, of distant stars, and of cosmic cycles so immense they dwarf our human lifespans, hinting at observational tools or theoretical models that remain unexplained. The Hindu Vedas and subsequent Puranic texts, for instance, contain detailed cosmologies that speak of vast temporal cycles known as yugas. These yugas, comprising thousands upon thousands of human years, describe a cyclical progression of ages, each with its own characteristics, reflecting periods of spiritual and material growth and decline. The very concept of such immense timescales, and the intricate calculations required to delineate them, suggests an advanced understanding of celestial mechanics and a profound awareness of the universe's long, rhythmic breath. The precision with which these cycles are often calculated, and their correlation with astronomical phenomena, challenges the notion of ancient cultures being solely focused on immediate, earthly concerns. It hints at a deep, philosophical, and almost scientific engagement with the grand sweep of cosmic time, a perspective that makes our own short history seem but a fleeting moment. Furthermore, ancient Indian astronomers, known as Jyotishis, developed remarkably sophisticated systems for tracking planetary movements. While the geocentric model was prevalent, their calculations for planetary positions, eclipses, and lunar cycles were often incredibly accurate. Texts like the Surya Siddhanta, an ancient astronomical treatise, describe methods for calculating the diameters of planets, the circumference of the Earth, and even the concept of sidereal year, the actual time it takes for the Earth to orbit the Sun relative to the fixed stars. This knowledge was applied not just for calendrical purposes, but also for intricate astrological calculations and philosophical understanding, demonstrating a holistic approach to the cosmos. How did these ancient observers, without powerful telescopes or advanced computational aids, achieve such precise measurements and theoretical understandings of the celestial realm? It invites a quiet comparison to our modern astronomical understanding, revealing that perhaps the ancients possessed a different, yet equally valid, pathway to cosmic truth. Beyond the mapping of stars and planets, ancient narratives also subtly hint at a profound understanding of time itself, not as a linear, unyielding progression, but as something more fluid, more dynamic, and even manipulable. We find stories of temporal distortions, or what might be interpreted as a form of time travel, where individuals experience different rates of time. One such fascinating account is the legend of King Rayavata Kakudme from the Bhagavata Purana. King Kakudme travels to Brahmaloka, the realm of Brahma, to seek advice on a suitable husband for his daughter. When he returns to earth, only a brief moment has passed in Brahma's realm. But thousands of years have elapsed on earth. All his family, his kingdom, and the world he knew have transformed beyond recognition. This profound narrative is more than just a fable. It subtly introduces the concept of time dilation, where time can pass at different rates in different reference frames, a concept firmly rooted in Einstein's theories of relativity, but described millennia ago. How did ancient sages conceive of such a complex and counterintuitive aspect of reality without the mathematical and theoretical frameworks of modern physics? This quiet enigma suggests an intuitive or perhaps even experiential understanding of temporal mechanics that far precedes its modern scientific articulation. And still further, our tranquil contemplation leads us to the audacious concept of parallel worlds or dimensions, subtly woven into ancient cosmologies. Many ancient traditions speak of multiple realms, different planes of existence, or parallel universes coexisting alongside our own. In Hindu cosmology, there are elaborate descriptions of various lokas, planes of existence or dimensions, each inhabited by different beings and governed by different laws. These aren't always presented as purely spiritual realms. Sometimes they are described with a tangibility that suggests alternative realities or dimensions accessible through advanced means, whether technological or spiritual. Imagine a universe not just vast in space, but vast in its very fabric, containing countless other realities, some subtly different from our own, others profoundly alien. This concept of a multidimensional reality, where other worlds or dimensions can be reached through specific practices or forgotten technologies, mirrors contemporary ideas in quantum physics and theoretical cosmology, inviting us to ponder the true complexity of the universe as understood by the ancients. The overarching theme woven through these ancient cosmological insights is a hint at a celestial mechanics, an ancient model of the universe that, while often couched in mythological or divine language, nonetheless hints at a sophisticated understanding of physics. The intricate interplay of cosmic forces, the precise movements of celestial bodies, the cyclical nature of creation and dissolution all point to an underlying comprehension of universal laws. The ancients were not merely observing the stars. They were attempting to decode the very operating system of the cosmos, suggesting a deep, almost technological, appreciation for the order and complexity of the universe. This profound intellectual heritage, often preserved in spiritual texts, quietly suggests that the boundaries between science, philosophy, and spirituality were far more fluid in antiquity than we perceive them to be today. As we gently absorb these awe-inspiring insights into ancient astronomy, time, and interdimensional concepts, let the vastness of this forgotten knowledge softly expand your own understanding of possibility. These ancient navigators of the cosmos, through their profound observations and narratives, challenge us to humbly reconsider the linear progression of human understanding. They whisper of a time when the universe was explored not just with external instruments, but with an inner vision, a deep, intuitive grasp of its fundamental workings. Let this expansive sense of wonder guide you further into serenity, preparing you for a deeper, more peaceful sleep. As our journey continues to unveil the final, uncategorized marvels of ancient ingenuity, as our tranquil contemplation gently descends from the cosmic heights of ancient astronomy and the fluid nature of time, we now softly bring our focus back to more earthly, yet equally baffling examples of ancient technologies and scientific understandings that simply shouldn't exist. These are fragments of ingenuity, smaller in scope than entire flying machines or city-shattering weapons. Yet each one stands as a profound testament to a forgotten brilliance, silently challenging our neat, linear narratives of human progress. They are individual points of wonder, meticulously crafted details from a past far more complex than we often allow ourselves to imagine. Imagine, if you will, the subtle hum of an ancient electrical current, generated not by a modern power plant, but by a device created millennia ago. We turn our tranquil attention to the intriguing enigma often referred to as the Baghdad Battery, discovered in Iraq in 1936. This artifact, dating back to the Parthian era around 250 BCE to 224 CE, consists of a clay jar approximately 5 inches high, containing a copper cylinder which encloses an iron rod. When filled with an electrolyte such as grape juice or vinegar, this unassuming assembly is capable of generating a small electrical voltage. While its original purpose remains a subject of calm debates, some suggest it was used for electroplating, others for medicinal purposes like pain relief, or even as a simple novelty. The very existence of such a device is profoundly thought-provoking. It implies an ancient, albeit rudimentary, understanding of electrochemistry and the potential to harness electrical energy. Thousands of years before figures like Luigi Galvani and Alessandro Volta are credited with the discovery of electricity. How could ancient artisans and thinkers stumble upon such a principle? And for what purposes might they have truly employed this quiet, mysterious power source? The Baghdad Battery whispers of a lost chapter in the history of electrical science, gently urging us to reconsider the origins of our most fundamental technological discoveries. From the faint spark of ancient electricity, let us now serenely drift toward the enduring strength of impossible metals and forgotten metallurgical secrets. We have touched upon the mysterious materials of Vimanas, but other, more tangible artifacts continue to baffle scientists. Consider, for instance, the legendary Delhi Iron Pillar, standing majestically in India for over 1,600 years. This colossal iron column, weighing over 6 tons, is a marvel of ancient metallurgy. Despite being exposed to the elements for centuries, it exhibits an extraordinary resistance to rust, a property that even modern steel alloys struggle to perfectly achieve. Its composition reveals a high phosphorus content and a unique method of forging and passive rust protection through the formation of a thin, protective layer of crystallite iron hydrogen phosphate. The sheer scale of the pillar, combined with the advanced metallurgical knowledge required to produce such a large, pure, and rust-resistant iron structure without modern industrial processes, is truly astonishing. How did ancient blacksmiths and engineers achieve such mastery over iron? A feat that would be challenging even for today's foundries. It suggests a forgotten understanding of material science, a nuanced command over elemental properties that far surpasses the conventional narrative of early metallurgy. This silent, rust-defying sentinel stands as a testament to a lost art, a quiet challenge to our assumptions about the capabilities of ancient craftsmanship. Now, allow your mind to gently wander across vast oceans and uncharted lands, guided by the precision of ancient cartography. We turn our tranquil attention to the enigma of highly precise ancient maps, particularly the Piri race map. This Ottoman map, compiled in 1513 by the Admiral Peary race, is said to be based on much older source maps, some dating back to the 4th century BCE or earlier. What makes it profoundly mysterious is its astonishing accuracy, particularly in depicting the coastlines of Africa, South America, and even what appears to be the coast of Antarctica, free of ice. The map's detailed representation of land masses, mountain ranges, and rivers, with remarkable longitudinal and latitudinal precision, is incredibly perplexing for a time when accurate global surveys were supposedly impossible. How could ancient cartographers, without precise chronometers for longitude calculation or satellite imagery, create maps with such global scope and detail? The Peary race map, and others like it, quietly suggest that either an unknown advanced civilization conducted extensive global surveys long ago, or that a forgotten technology allowed for a bird's-eye view of the Earth, providing data far beyond the observational capabilities of early navigators. It opens a soft window to the possibility of a world where ancient explorers possessed tools and knowledge of our planet's geography that we are only now painstakingly recreating. And as we continue this gentle exploration, let us now consider the very tools of perception used by the ancients: early optics and lenses. While telescopes were not invented until the 17th century, scattered evidence suggests that ancient civilizations possessed a rudimentary yet functional understanding of optics. One notable artifact is the Nimrod lens, an oval-shaped piece of rock crystal, discovered in 1850 at the Assyrian palace of Nimrud, dating back to around 750 to 710 BCE. This lens, which could magnify objects 3 times, is believed by some to have been used as a magnifying glass, or perhaps even as a component of an ancient telescope. While its primary use might have been ornamental or as a burning glass, its optical properties demonstrate a clear understanding of light manipulation and lens grinding. Similarly, Roman writers like Pliny the Elder mentioned that Emperor Nero used an emerald as a viewing glass to watch gladiatorial contests, implying that polished gems were used to enhance vision or reduce glare. These subtle clues suggest that ancient craftsmen possessed the skill to create optical instruments that, while perhaps not as complex as modern lenses, nonetheless represent a significant grasp of light and vision, challenging our assumption that advanced optics are a purely modern invention. They remind us that the ancients might have seen the world, and even the heavens, with a clearer, more magnified gaze than we typically envision. As these diverse and intriguing fragments of impossible ancient technologies gently settle within your tranquil mind, let them deepen your sense of wonder and softly expand your understanding of human ingenuity across the vast expanse of time. Each artifact, each textual whisper, is a quiet testament to a past that defies easy categorization, urging us to remain open to the profound secrets still held within the earth and within the forgotten pages of history. Let this gentle curiosity guide you further into serenity, preparing you for the next collection of unsettling discoveries. As our tranquil contemplation gently descends from the cosmic heights of ancient astronomy and the fluid nature of time, we now softly bring our focus back to more earthly, yet equally baffling examples of ancient technologies and scientific understandings that simply shouldn't exist. These are fragments of ingenuity, smaller in scope than entire flying machines or city-shattering weapons. Yet each one stands as a profound testament to a forgotten brilliance, silently challenging our neat, linear narratives of human progress. They are individual points of wonder, meticulously crafted details from a past far more complex than we often allow ourselves to imagine. From the quiet gaze of ancient lenses Let us now consider the profound resonance of ancient structures themselves. Many megalithic sites, temples, and chambers across the globe exhibit remarkable acoustic properties, suggesting an intentional design to manipulate sound. Imagine the deep, resonant hum within a sacred chamber, designed to induce altered states of consciousness, facilitate healing, or amplify vocalizations for communication across vast spaces. The intricate carvings and precise construction of some ancient sites, like the Hal-Safalin hypogeum in Malta, create unique acoustic effects, resonating at specific frequencies that have been linked to human brainwave activity. This hints at an advanced understanding of acoustics, not just for architectural aesthetics, but for profound, almost technological, applications in sound manipulation, perhaps for spiritual practices or even early forms of communication over distance through resonant frequencies. It invites a serene wonder. Did ancient builders intentionally engineer spaces to literally sing with specific energies, affecting those within them in deeply subtle yet powerful ways? This speaks to a lost science of vibration and resonance, a technology of sound that transcends simple echoes. And finally, in the broader tapestry of ancient knowledge, we find subtle yet persistent hints at a surprisingly accurate understanding of our planet's true form and scale. Long before voyages of circumnavigation, various ancient texts and philosophical traditions spoke of the Earth as a sphere or globe, not a flat disk. Eratosthenes, in ancient Greece, famously calculated the Earth's circumference with astonishing accuracy. In the 3rd century BCE, while often celebrated as a singular genius, his work implies an underlying body of knowledge and observational data that might have been more widespread than we assume. These accounts challenge the popular misconception that ancient cultures universally believed in a flat Earth, subtly suggesting a lost appreciation for global geodesy and spherical geometry, acquired through means we cannot fully explain. Did ancient mariners possess instruments or navigational techniques that provided insights into the curvature of the Earth over vast distances? Or did this knowledge descend from an even older, globally connected civilization that had already mapped our planet with breathtaking precision? This quiet insight into ancient global awareness further underscores the depth of forgotten scientific understanding, as these diverse and intriguing fragments of impossible ancient technologies gently settle within your tranquil mind. Let them deepen your sense of wonder and softly expand your understanding of human ingenuity across the vast expanse of time. Each artifact, each textual whisper, is a quiet testament to a past that defies easy categorization, urging us to remain open to the profound secrets still held within the Earth and within the forgotten pages of history. This extensive journey through the hidden annals of antiquity has unfolded before us a panorama of truly astonishing concepts. We have drifted through the incredible narratives of Vimanas, those ancient flying machines that soared through forgotten skies, challenging our every notion of early aviation. We then contemplated the chilling power of the Brahmastra and other ancient weapons, whose descriptions eerily echo the devastating capabilities of modern superarmaments, forcing us to consider cycles of technological ascent and fall. Our minds then wandered across the colossal and precise megalithic structures of Baalbek and Sacsayhuaman, and delved into the mysteries of subterranean and submerged cities, marveling at the lost engineering prowess of ancient builders. We explored the subtle, yet profound, insights into life itself, from ancient surgical practices and rejuvenation to the astonishing possibility of genetic manipulation. Our journey then took us into the unseen realms of divya drishti and instantaneous communication, hinting at forgotten networks of information exchange, and the enigmatic perpetual lamps that defy our understanding of energy. And finally, we expanded our consciousness to embrace the cosmic navigators, ancient astronomers who charted the stars, contemplated time dilation, and envisioned parallel dimensions long before modern physics. This tapestry of ancient wisdom, woven from countless threads of myth, scripture, and archaeological anomaly, paints a picture of a past far richer, far more complex, and far more technologically advanced than conventional history often allows. It compels us to confront the impossible paradox once more. How could so many seemingly futuristic technologies be described with such detail and consistency across cultures and millennia? If not as echoes of a lost golden age, or perhaps glimpses of a truth about our cosmic origins that we are only now beginning to humbly rediscover. The profound mystery is not meant to agitate, but to liberate the mind, freeing it from rigid timelines and conventional assumptions. As your mind, now gently stimulated by these profound mysteries, prepares for a deeper peace, allow this sense of awe to softly wash over you. There is a deep comfort in the recognition that the universe, and indeed our own history, holds far more secrets than we can possibly imagine. This journey through the impossible technologies of the ancients is a gentle reminder of the boundless potential of the human spirit, and the cyclical nature of knowledge itself, ever present, sometimes forgotten, yet always waiting to be found again. Let this quiet wonder guide you further into the tranquil depths of your being, reinforcing a state of deep relaxation and peaceful wonder. Allow these thoughts to softly integrate into your subconscious, preparing you for the most restorative sleep. As we approach the very end of our shared exploration tonight, where we will offer a final moment of calm reflection, as the final echoes of ancient wonder gently settle within your tranquil mind, bringing this profound journey to its peaceful close, we reach a moment of quiet reflection. You have ventured deep into the forgotten annals of time, exploring technologies and understandings that challenge the very fabric of our historical assumptions. This shared journey, undertaken together in the calm of this night, has been one of deep discovery and gentle contemplation. If this exploration into the impossible technologies of the ancients has stirred a sense of peaceful curiosity within you, if it has offered a unique path to deeper relaxation and wonder, then I invite you to make a simple, yet meaningful, gesture. Consider leaving a comment below, perhaps with the phrase, "I rest in ancient wonder." Let these words be a quiet declaration of the peace and inspiration you found tonight, a signal that you embraced the mysteries of our past. Your words are a quiet echo in our community, inspiring others on their own journey toward serenity and discovery. And if you feel that this peaceful journey might bring comfort or a sense of awe to others seeking similar respite, I gently ask you to consider liking this video, not for us, but because your simple click helps this message of ancient mysteries and tranquil contemplation reach more souls who might be yearning for a moment of quiet reflection, helping them find their own path to rest and wonder. You have the power to be a gentle beacon of fascinating knowledge for someone else tonight. If you wish to continue receiving more journeys like this, to keep exploring the hidden depths of history and science in a calm, contemplative atmosphere, then I invite you to join our growing community. Subscribe to the channel. It's not merely a click, it's a quiet commitment to your own well-being, a promise to yourself to continue nurturing a mind that seeks wonder and finds peace in discovery. By subscribing, you become part of a family that values introspection, ancient wisdom, and the gentle pursuit of knowledge. Remember, this channel is your sanctuary, a place where the veil between the known and the unknown is gently lifted, where history whispers its secrets in a calming cadence. Your dedication to making it this far shows a rare and admirable spirit of inquiry and a deep appreciation for the profound mysteries that envelop our world. Congratulations on reaching the end of this extensive exploration. It shows your commitment to seeking out profound insights and embracing moments of deep peace. Now, as the ambient music softly swells and gently fades, I invite you to simply close your eyes, if they aren't already. Let the last thoughts of flying Vimanas, colossal stone structures, and cosmic navigators dissolve into the tranquil darkness. Feel the stillness envelop you, knowing that the world is far more mysterious and magnificent than we often imagine. Allow this deep sense of calm to guide you into the most restorative and peaceful sleep. May your dreams be filled with ancient wonders and serene possibilities. Thank you for joining me tonight on this extraordinary journey. Good night.